Hi neighbors, it's your girl, Fenyx Blue, sharing lyrics, lessons, and lifestyle with you. Let's go!
A book has always been inside of you. Being an author is something you must choose to do. Man, woman, boy, or girl, share your story with the world.
So if you clicked to see this video, you feel like you have a story inside of you. I was the same way. This is going to be a raw video telling you about my story and my journey to being published. Stay tuned.
Who are you? How are you unique? And what have you done? Tell your audience about the places you've been and the awards that you have won.
So I was 6 when I knew I wanted to be a writer, but there wasn't anyone really to tell me, hey, this is what it takes. Here is the blueprint of what you need to do. No one tells you that you need to start with the end in mind. So the first thing is when you are a published writer, you're going to need to have a bio. You're going to have to be able to express what have you done, what events have you been a part of, what awards have you received. And you're going to have that all written out because someone is going to ask you for that, right? And then you're probably going to need it in your book too. And about the author page, or depending on what venue you use, you're going to have to tell about yourself. So you might as well write that right now. That's probably the easiest part about this whole process, is writing about yourself. Describing that in words, putting it down, and making it as revealing as you want it to be. So that's one of the first steps I would say. Go ahead, write that story about you. What is your story? Tell them about you.
It really is all about the quality of your book. But some readers want to know how you look.
Camera splashing. Yeah, you're going to need a photo, a picture. And that was my problem because I don't take pictures a lot. You may think differently, like, oh, I see you on Instagram or something like that. I don't take pictures a lot. And so I had to start to take pictures, invest in a good camera or a good photographer, some type of relationship with one that is truly going to capture your image. Because why are you going to need photos? Because you're going to be out there. You're going to be on social media. Your picture may even be in your book. It may be on the cover of your book, the back of your book. So you're going to need an image that represents who you are. It doesn't have to be perfect and flawless. In fact, people like, it not being perfect. So just be yourself. Have enough pictures and photos of you so that when someone says, hey, can you send us a headshot? You don't have to say, uh-oh.
Your readers want an enticing book summary so they can decide if they want to read.
Hey, future author. So look, everyone is going to want to know what this book baby is about. You have been spending all of your time. You know the book baby so well. You know all the details. They don't. They don't know your book. And so you're going to have to capture that in words, giving them a summary of what the book is about. So it's like giving that elevator pitch, that perfect speech that you would give to someone. Hey, this is what my book is about. And if you were to write it in one sentence, what would you say? If someone were to ask me, what is Who Failed Johnny about? A bullied boy and the fact that he's thinking about getting revenge. Does he or doesn't he? What is your story about? How would you present that to someone? Fenyx, what is Worth the Wait about? It's about a young girl's relationship with her father and how she learns about her worth through him. He shares all his wisdom. What is your story about, and capturing that so that your reader will want to know more? Like, tell me more, right? I hope when I mentioned the Blue Ink movement, you're like, oh, what's that book about? What does she mean, blue? I mean being bold, loving, unapologetic, evolving. And I'm sharing my poetry to make other people be blue. Like you. I want you to be blue. So just be ready to write what is your book about.
Self-publishing a book is not free. It is an investment in you. How many coins can you spare to make your dreams come true?
Money, 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 money. Okay, we know that this whole process is not free. I've heard of some great people who are able to do it for hundreds of dollars, and there's others who spend thousands of dollars, and others who, of course, they don't spend money, but they have someone investing in them, so later they have to pay that back. So you have to decide how much money can you invest in yourself. How much are you willing to? For your editing, how much money are you going to put aside to that? That's why thinking with the end in mind and then setting those things up is going to be helpful. How much money are you willing to invest in each item that you're going to need? And so being realistic with that budget. I know for me, a lot of my money went to editing because that's super important, and it was going to be something that's going to be necessary. So the same thing for you. What are you willing to spend, and then working your way backward? Where are you going to put that money? So there's going to be different things we're going to talk about. Which amount of dollars, how much money are you going to put in each one of those categories? So set a budget and stick to the budget. Don't be like Fenyx and break the budget.
Real readers are human, so they don't expect perfection. Readers do respect a book that has had some corrections.
Editing your book. Now, I'm an English teacher, and even I know that I cannot edit my own book. Editors, that's a special job for a reason. It really requires skill. Now, some people feel like, I'm a good writer, I don't need an editor. Everyone needs an editor, okay? Now, there are different qualities of editors. Some, like I had a bad experience, sent back a manuscript with only 4 corrections. So either I'm flawless or this person didn't have the skill set that was needed, right? So there's different types of editing. There's your copy edit, your basic level things, and developmental edits that may take a lot more energy and time and may cost you more money. So you have to be able to ask questions of the editor ahead of time. And so for me, I would suggest 3 questions. And the first question would be, what are your references, right? Because many people feel that they are great editors if they know grammar or they got an A in English. But you want to make sure that this person has edited your genre, like what type of book you're in, and can then also do the same for you. The next question I would ask is, well, what is the time frame that you feel that you would be able to finish this project, and how much money am I going to have to pay along the way? All right? Because someone may take on your project and they may have many, many, many projects going on at the same time. So if you don't want your book to come in 2 years from when you started, you want to establish that ahead of time. And then finally, if I were asking an editor a question, and it may seem pretty obvious, do you believe in my story? Okay? Do you believe in my story? So you've shared your description, you've shared what your topic is about. Do they really think that they can edit that story to the best of their ability? Do they believe in your project? Because if they don't, then you may have some difficulty there too. So again, asking questions ahead of time, looking for those references. How much money am I going to pay along the way? Do you believe in me? Have you done a story like this before? Can we work together? Those are going to be some important things to cover when you're looking for an editor. I am going to put editors in the description box because I had a good experience with one, and I would recommend that editor. That is an editor for poetry and also for young adult literature, since I had both. So check it out.
Set a goal to pen 1 word, 1 page, 1 chapter, 1 book. You can't call yourself a word chef if you don't cook.
Okay, so along the journey, the most important thing if you're going to be an actual author is to write. And so it seems obvious. For me, I had to discipline myself. I knew that I had 3 stories coming out at once, and so you want to kind of set goals. So again, working with the end in mind, I thought, first, where do I want to be in 6 months? And then I looked back from there. But just starting with working and writing every day, even if you don't use it. I didn't always use everything that I wrote. It may be something that you post on social media. It may be something that you just keep to yourself and reflect on. But the first step is to actually get it on the paper. And that's what many people who are in this journey have said. They're like, I know I have a story. It's inside my mind. We need it on paper. And so taking it piece by piece and writing each day, that is going to be the key.
Reading is research, so you need to take the time to explore. Investigate the giants in your genre so you can soar.
Alrighty, so part of my journey required reading. I love to read, but being more strategic with the type of reading that I was reading. So making sure if I'm going to be writing a young adult book, then I probably should have read some young adult literature. What's going on in that genre? Who are the giants in that genre? Who are those people that not only they having books, those books are becoming TV series. Those books are becoming movies. Those authors are loved by people who read those stories. You want to make sure that you're reading stories in your genre. So I had to, read a whole lot of poetry, which I love anyway. Teach poetry, love poetry. So I did that. The same thing with children's book. What's that children's book that you still remember to this day? Okay? And what was it about that story? So by looking at it and reading them cover to cover and noticing things about the story, you can then know, hey, which genre am I in, and am I meeting the standards for my genre? And then just do a research, okay? Just do a simple Google search and say, hey, how many pages is the typical young adult book? How many pages is the typical poetry book? And start to do some research there so you won't be surprised when you take a manuscript to an editor and they say, oh, it's 400,000 words? That's too many. We don't want that to happen to you.
The saying is wrong. We all judge a book by its cover. How will your design stand out amongst all the others?
All right, let's talk cover design. It's probably one of the most exciting parts of the journey. You work with an editor and you're getting all these corrections that you need to make. That's not that exciting, okay? You're paying bills for your book. That's not that exciting. But when you receive that cover, it's like the book comes alive. But before you have to have a plan in place. Now, I am going to recommend a cover designer, but you could create your own cover. You could use different software. There's people that have done a lot of great things. Me, I let the professionals do it because that's not my thing. I'll stick to writing. So for your cover design, again, when you look at people in your industry, what kind of cover really stands out? So in children's literature, there's a lot of bright colors. It's very different from maybe a typical poetry book that may be a little more subtle. So kind of knowing what is the standard. Is there a glossy cover that you want, or do you want it to be more matte? You're thinking about the different sizes of the covers. For your illustrations, or if you're even going to have illustrations, what are the size for that goes with your standard and with your genre? And so you have to do that research ahead of time so that you won't be surprised when you create a cover and no one is wanting to read that book. It's not really enticing them. When I created Worth the Wait, I wanted all little girls to want to grab that book, and hold it and say, I want that book, I want that book. The same thing when I created the cover for Who Failed Johnny. I asked actual students, what do you want to see on the cover? And they told me. I took that feedback back. So those are the types of things that you want to do as you go and try to publish your book.
When a book gets its own social security number, your book is alive. ISBNs are essential like license plates for those who choose to drive.
ISBNs are your friends. What is an ISBN? It's an International Standard Book Number. I didn't know what that meant until about a couple minutes ago before I filmed this. I'm trying to impress you. I just knew I needed an ISBN. An ISBN is like the social security number for your book. It's going to be attached to your book forever, right? Just like our license plates to our cars. And so you have to have one. I am going to recommend a certain place. It's called Bowker for your ISBN. And that's because it kind of is friendly with all the different publishing venues. So you're going to want to, go through Bowker. And you can also get a discount. So if you buy more than one. And of course, I don't get anything from telling you about Bowker at all other than the fact that I know that you'll use an ISBN and you'll publish a book. So winning. So you have to have an ISBN. Research that. See if you want to get 1, 2, 10. And make sure that you have that ahead of time.
The internal organs of your book must be healthy and strong. Each genre has its own standard, so make sure yours is not wrong.
The format of your book. So, I always knew that you needed to have a great cover. And I knew that you needed to have a great story. And I wanted to be a great author. I never thought about the inside of a book and how important it is. Never. The inside formatting of your book is as important, if not more, than your cover design, your illustrations, your editing, all of that. Because if the book doesn't look like a book, your reader is not interested, right? It seems something off. They're like, what's wrong with this? And so you want to make sure that you're doing the same type of research and follow through when it comes to editing the inside of the book and formatting the inside of the book. The margins are important. Okay, is it going to have bleed or no bleed? And, is it going to be coming off the page or not? You want to look page numbers, how are you going to format that? The inside cover, the first cover, your title page, copyright page, your all of that is important because readers expect certain things, right? They've been reading for so long that it needs to look like a book. And also when you go to print and to publish, if it's not right, whatever venue that you use to actually publish won't even accept the book. So it's going to have to be in the right format.
How does someone buy a book if they don't know it's there? Podcast, TV, radio, you should be at everywhere.
Are you on social media? Are you a social butterfly? Like, can I find your posts everywhere? Well, when you become an author, you're going to need to be, right? And sometimes as writers, we're introverts. Some are extroverts. That's good. But me, I was a little private. I really kind of kept to myself. I was out there living life, not always posting it and sharing it with the world. You're going to do that. Social media is going to be very important. It's part of your marketing plan. Because how can people buy a book if they don't know it exists? If they don't know who you are, and if they don't know about your book. So you're going to want to get it out as many places as you can. In the past, I would go, door to door, school to school, church to church. It wasn't a problem. But we live in a different age where it's going to be key to be on social media. And not only be on social media, but let people know who you are. Because that's what they want, that human connection to you. Maybe I am a fabulous writer, but maybe people just think I'm a fabulous person and they want to connect to me and read my story. So that may be your same experience. So get out there, be social, and fly, butterfly, fly.
Many now go to the female warrior to make a trusted purchase. But there are many other printers, distributors, and shippers who exist.
3 syllables, Amazon. Everyone knows about Amazon. That's where people want to be. They want the books out there. They want them to be available for people's Kindles. I get that. There are other ways too to publish and get your book out there as well. Good old-fashioned word of mouth. But there's print on demand that you could use to get your book published. I am going to also mention Ingram Spark in the description box. I don't have a connection with anyone. I'm just Fenyx Blue. And just letting you know that there are many ways that you can get your book out there. So I had to research them all, and I didn't really want to be loyal to one. I wanted to have my feet into everything so that my reader could access my book around the world. So you will have to make that the decision on where would you like to have your book. And of course, we know everybody likes the female warrior, Amazon, but there are others as well. So do some research there and see if you can save some coins.
Whether you are an indie author to self-publish or if you go get a book deal, either way, give birth to a book and invite the world to your book's genre reveal.
So I wanted to share my journey to being published with you, but I couldn't share it without telling you just how exciting it is to be at this point. And I'm hoping that whoever is looking at me right now, we're face to face, you will one day be sitting right here in my seat. You will be published, you will be excited about being published, and you will have shared your story with the world. Because that's why you have the gift. The gift is not for you, it's for you to share with someone else, like I'm trying to do. No one pulled me to the side when I was 6 and wanted to write that first poem and wanted to have a little book when my first book was just paper folded up together and you fold it, and that was my first book. No one was there to take me through all the steps, but I have just shared my journey with you and the things that you are going to need to know. I hope they're helpful. I hope that you look at the description box, and I hope you check out Who Failed Johnny and Worth the Wait, and also just the Blue Ink movement. Join the movement. Be blue, bold, loving, unapologetic, and evolving.
Thanks for visiting. I hope this video was helpful. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Pinky promise to publish. See you soon. Bye-bye.